Unit 5, Lesson 5.1, Machines. In this lesson, we'll see a few things that are already known to you. For instance, the comparatives and superlatives. We saw them in Basic 2 level. We are going to talk about deal with vocabulary related to technology, and obviously from a functional point of view, we're going to talk about technology. And that's what the first activity is about. How have machines and technology changed the world? Have they made it a better or a worse place? This is a very typical question for an exam, both in writing or in oral expression. So keep it in mind. Then you've got the B part. It says work in pairs. Put the phrases in the box in the correct in the word web, in the right word web. As usual, you will have fill in the gaps activity, and you will have to use the words and expressions from this box. 1D in the platform is exactly the same thing. This is only to check that you've got it correct. So you may want to do it again, but it's not really necessary. Then you'll go to the vocabulary bank activity on page 152. Once you're there, go to technology, and this is the activity that you have to do. It says match the words or phrases 1 to 10 here in the column. Plug it in, press the button, have an injection, have an operation, run out of petrol, break down, get or not get a connection, restart, reboot the computer, do an experiment, switch it on or switch it off with the pictures, and you'll have to use letters. For instance, 1, plug it in, will be letter F. This is the right one, so just write the letter. Go back to page 57 there. On exercise 2, it says read the article on page 56 and tick the inventions in exercise 1b which are mentioned. We'll skip that part and we'll answer this question. Which other inventions does the article talk about? Well, actually, you will have to answer both questions with fill in the gaps activity, and there is a word per gap. Then you'll have to move to activity 3A, where it says read the article again and answer those questions. And you've got 6 questions there. And you will have to fill in the gaps. And in every gap there'll be one word missing. There are more than one possible answers. Then we'll move to the grammar part, exercise 4A. In this activity, in 4A, it says read the article again and find examples of comparatives and superlatives. Do that and then answer these in the platform. Look at the examples and complete the rules. How do we form the comparative and superlative of common adjectives? Okay, with one syllable, remember you add ER. Superlative, you add EST, and with 2 or more syllables you add more and most. Okay, but there are exceptions to those cases, as you probably know already. If you don't have this in the platform, we can look at it together now. It says look at sentences below and complete the rules with small or big. A, cities have become a lot, much, far taller. So or the wall became a little bit, or slightly smaller. Okay, the right thing is a lot taller and a little bit smaller. So we use quantifiers such as a lot, much, or far to talk about big difference, and use the quantifiers a little bit, or slightly to talk about small differences. Then we'll move to page 136 and have a look at the grammar chart here for the comparatives and superlatives. If you have a look at the formation, here you've got some of the exceptions that we talked about. Well, first of all, adjectives with one syllable, you see how you form it with ER. This is a two-syllable adjective, but you also use ER. And also, when they finish with the Y changes to I in the comparative or in the superlative form of the adjective. And when they finish with this consonant, vowel, consonant, then you double the final consonant, as in big, bigger, or biggest, the biggest. And then two-syllable or longer adjectives are formed using more or less important than, the most or the least important. Remember that this is less is menos, the least, el menos. So it's superlative of inferiority. This is superlative of superiority. And this is the same. This is a comparative of inferiority, and this superiority. Okay, remember that we always use than for comparing, not that. Okay, and then you've got these exceptions here: good, better, the best; bad, worse, the worst; far, further, farther, or the furthest, or the farthest. It's also important to remember that you've got equality. It's exactly the same as the one we have. Very similar to as told as, I expected. Okay, so these are ways of expressing equality. And then you've got superiority and inferiority and the superlatives here. Okay, have a look at that and then do the exercises on the next page, activities 1 and 2. In the first one, it says complete the sentences with the comparative or superlative form of the adjectives in brackets. So in the example, we usually fly to Italy instead of going in the car because it's quicker. You're comparing two things, flying and going in the car. And you have to do the same for the others. And in the second one, it says rewrite the sentences using the words in bold. So these words like bit, far, by, similar, or lot, so that they have the same meaning. You need to rewrite the whole sentence. So in this one, my brother is slightly taller than I am. We could change it to my brother is a bit taller than I am. And you do the same for the others. And then go back to page 57 again. You'll move to activity 5A, which is a little bit of the same thing. Complete the statements with the prompts in brackets. Okay, so the first one is the invention of the bicycle made it a lot easier, so I'm using these and these, for people to travel from one village to another to meet new people. Be careful with the pronunciation of this, village. Okay, so you have to do the same for the others. Use much and safe, far and healthy. Okay, lot and quick, good, cheap, flexible, important, much and busy. Next activity is a speaking activity, and we may do it in the classroom next day. So we go to next page, page 58, and there you've got a writing activity. It says advantages and disadvantages essay. Okay, an essay is an article, a text. 7A says, what do you think are the main advantages and disadvantages of technology in everyday life? We can write a list of advantages, disadvantages. That's a very good idea when you're doing a writing and you're comparing advantages and disadvantages, is to have a list beforehand to know how you're going to structure your text. Here you've got a model. It says, read the model essay. Does it mention any of your ideas? Probably. Now, have a look at these. We have an introduction here. You have the introduction of the fact that there are advantages and disadvantages, and they are linked with the however. Now, the second paragraph starts with an introductory sentence saying one of the main advantages, okay, and then you've got in addition to this, so you're giving examples of advantages, and then you're contrasting that with a linker like on the other hand. Okay, normally there is a contrast when you say on the one hand, on the other hand. When you use both, there is a contrast, and here you're contrasting advantages in the second paragraph with disadvantages in the third paragraph. And you can see here another disadvantage, so you're seeing examples of disadvantages here, the same way you were adding here another advantage to this paragraph. But you see they are very well organized. And then finally they conclude with an opinion, in my opinion, okay, and then they express the opinion. So this is a very well summarized structure for an article like this. What you need to do in activity 7C is match paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 with those headings: discussion of disadvantages, conclusion, introduction, discussion of advantages. Very easy because I just explained it. Then you've got this one, 7D, in which you have to complete the guidelines using the words here in the gaps here. The first one is sort out the facts, make notes of all the relevant information you have on the subject. Those are all ideas or guidelines for writing this type of article. So when you finish doing this exercise, read them and see if you understand them all. This is also a very important activity 8A, discourse markers or linkers, right? Look at the underlined words and phrases in the essay, put them in the correct place. We've got introducing advantages, introducing disadvantages, contrasting ideas, additional reasons, and personal opinion and conclusion. And you've got to simply add one or two more. And in the B part of this activity, you have to choose the right one. For instance, here the main advantage or as well as that. Okay, so the idea is, in this case, the main advantage. More and more people are watching satellite television. The main advantage is that you can choose exactly what you want to watch. Okay, and you have to do the same for the others. Finally, this is the writing assignment for this unit. It says choose one of the titles below. So you have to use these as a title, or these, or these, or these, or these, or that. Modern technology in everyday life, owning a car or owning a bicycle, playing computer games, using a digital camera, using email or using text messages, using cheap flights or cheap flights simply. And then write an advantage and a disadvantage essay. Okay, looking at the models that we just saw, and you have to do that in about 160 words using the template as usual.